Hello and welcome to my Swordsman VR Trophy guide. This can be done on both the PSVR and the PSVR 2 on either the PS4 or PS5, as all the techniques in this video work the same, just you might need to alter the movement a little bit depending on if you're using the joystick controls of the PSVR 2 or the move controls of the PSVR 1. The Platinum is very easy with this technique and will take you around 2 to 3 hours, so it's a pretty quick one. From the start, keep armor physics on, as this will increase your reward outtakes and gold and skills from the end of levels. If you said no, you can turn it back on in the modifiers, in the options, in the main menu, in the hub area, so there's no worries about that. It's best to have this on, since we'll primarily be aiming for the places without armor anyway. So having this armor physic on doesn't really mean anything, because we're going to be going for the barest amount of skin possible. There will be some other modifiers that we're going to be adding on later too to increase our reward outtake, but we need to get a trophy first before doing so. Now, just some benefit of life changes. Go to your settings and change the pickup so that it's toggle, so you don't have to hold it anymore. And change your height so your height is below 5 foot. We are going to be small stands here, because we can do this entire platinum sitting down. And if we make our height below 5 foot and we're sitting down, it means that we can attack the thighs easier and we don't need to tire out our legs, as we'll just leave our arms to do all the work. Once we've done that and we've got the controls as to how we want it, I always change my rotation to smooth as well if I'm on the PSVR 2. Once that's done, you want to go around to each 3 people that is going to be in the hub area to get your first trophy, which will be called Extrovert. All you need to do is walk up to them and open up. Now, this is the bread and butter of what the majority of this platinum doesn't get achieved is for. It's because of the combat. People normally overcomplicate the combat, and it's just not what we need to do. What you want to do for the combat is you want to move back and forth and jab every time you move forward at the fires, instantly pulling back once you've either connected or hit the armor, just something, so then that way you can avoid taking damage most of the time. You're aiming for the thighs, because the thighs on pretty much most enemies don't have armor on, apart from the boss in the Vikings. But him we have a different technique for anyway. So that's literally all you want to do, is you just want to keep on jabbing the thighs and coming back, jabbing the thighs and coming back. After you've killed the first person, you'll unlock the trophy called Boy Scout. Also get instant kills, so this is why we haven't turned on some extra modifiers yet, because we want to get this instant kill. This trophy is called Bullseye, and you can get it by stabbing someone in the face, and it should instantly kill the person. I find that the best way for this is, while you're sitting down, have your dominant hand that's holding the sword pointed upwards from your crotch, then jab upwards to their face as you're walking towards them. You'll know you'll get it when the trophy pops. You can do it against any enemy. The knights are kind of hard to do it against, so you could just wait and do this against the pirates later on, as pirates have no head armor whatsoever. Now that you've got the Bullseye trophy, we can back out and go to the modifiers list. We want to tick off on the modifiers list that enemies can't be knocked out, and that enemies can't instantly die from head or chest shots. These will grant you extra reward bonuses for the levels going forward, and since now that we've already got Bullseye, we don't really need to worry too much about not being able to get the trophy anymore, because we're going to be continuously jabbing the thighs from now on. Head from that over to the left now, and you can level up your skills. You can level up anything you want to, but I'd prioritize leveling up your strength. And if you're dying a bit too much, put a bit more into your health, into your vitality. If you're comfortable though and you're not dying that much, level up your strength and then level up your greed/intelligence. The more greed you have leveled up, the more gold you get, to which we're going to need 30,000 for an achievement. And the more intelligence you have means the more skill points we'll earn, which we're going to need 10,000 overall for an achievement. You don't need them all at once. This 30,000 for the gold or 10,000 for the skill points. It is all cumulative, so that's fine. But yeah, just level up those 3. But if you're struggling, level up your vitality a bit more. Now just continue as normal. Progress through a couple levels, then back out, level up your skills and go back in. Don't worry about purchasing any armor or weapons as of the moment, as we are saving up our money so that we can get the pirate gear, which will give us even more rewards in the future. The first bit of armor is the pirate helmet. which will cost 3,000, and then we want the Pirate's Coat, which is 5,000. Literally buy those as soon as you can to start maximizing on your rewards just ASAP. Another tip is actually have a weapon on your offhand, like have a weapon on your left hand, for instance, because what you can do is sort of hold that raised across from your head, and that will block a majority of attacks that actually come in whilst you're going back and forth. You don't have to. Obviously, you block a couple more if you have a shield, but it's just a little added bonus. In all of these stages here, try to avoid taking damage. As if you don't take damage, that will unlock the trophy called Untouchable. I actually unlocked this Untouchable during a boss fight. It's actually much easier to do this on the first level of the Samurais or the Vikings, but just keep it in mind that not taking damage will get you a trophy. Damage can be anything from being hit by obviously a weapon, being kicked, or being shield bashed, so make sure to keep your distance and just stay stabbing. Now, progress through all 9 levels of the Knights and you'll reach level 10, which will be the boss fight. We have 4 areas which we have to progress through. These will be the Knights, the Vikings, the Mongolians, and lastly the Samurai. Before you reach the boss, you should have achieved the Barbarian Trophy, which is going to be for killing 50 enemies. And make sure that you have spent all of your skill points, and you probably could have equipped the pirate gear, or at least one of the pirate gears by now before you enter the boss fight. Now, every boss spawns one random enemy alongside them, and even when you kill that extra ad, another one will then eventually respawn. You can ignore them for the most part and use the boss as a sort of shield. For this first boss, you just want to keep attacking the thighs. You can see that they're sort of glowing a little bit red. Make sure you hear a fleshy kind of sound when you hit instead of a ding, because that means that you're dealing damage. If you're having troubles with any boss, you can turn off the physical armor bonus that we enabled as the very first thing and just keep on stabbing through the armor to end up killing them, but just remember to turn it back on after when you're then going back up against the normal enemies. Killing this boss gives you the trophy the Champion 1 and will give you the longsword Solace, which we'll be using for the rest of this run mostly. I managed to get Untouchable in this fight, as I said before, as you could see, which is also another thing that you can note. We need to use each boss weapon at least once as well. So if you keep following my build and switch weapons when I tell you to switch weapons, then you should get this trophy no problem. There is 5 boss weapons overall which we need to use. We don't need to use their specials apart from one of them. We just need to have them equipped during a fight. Before starting the next campaign, level up again, but go to the blacksmith and equip Solace into your preferred hand. My one is my right, and then put the cutlass into your left hand. The length of the sword will help you now be able to stab enemies from much further away whilst you're attacking the thighs, so it's much harder for you to take damage. And then we can move straight on to the Vikings. They are much easier than the Knights, but the boss is by far the most tedious. The same thing goes through the entirety of this campaign, just keep on stabbing the thighs until you reach the boss. With this boss, I highly recommend that you turn off the armor physics, as hitting him consistently is a real pain. If you wanted to maximize your rewards, you can keep it on, but what you would want to do is you would want to use a sword and swing upwards into his groin, or swing behind to hit the back of his leg. But just turn off the modification and jab the thighs through the armor set. It makes it so much easier. This boss is going to be the first one that actually has a special attack. He will raise his axe and call down lightning, which you can easily spot with these like red circles on the floor. Just avoid them. You have plenty of time to move out of the way. Eventually, when you kill this guy, it will get you the trophy, the Champion 2, and a new boss weapon to equip, which will be called the Stormbringer. If you followed what I've suggested at this point, by the time you level up, after the Viking boss, you should have received the Perfect Speciman Trophy, which is for using 40 upgrade points. And you should by now have enough money to be able to buy yourself the pirate outfit and the pirate hat. So go and buy and equip those. Equip the Stormbringer into your lesser hand, keeping Solace in your main dominant hand. And now head over to the Gobi Desert, where you can progress through this campaign doing exactly the same technique shown in the video. Before you reach the boss, you should net yourself the trophy Madman, which will be for killing 200 enemies. This boss is pretty straightforward, so you can keep the modification arm for the armor on. You just want to swing at the back of the thigh or jab the thigh as usual. This guy has a different special attack with his mace that will make a cross coming from him being in the center. Just sidestep it to avoid it. You have plenty of time. Once you kill him, it will get you the trophy, the Champion 3, and the new mace to equip, which is called the Tombstone. You may also at this point earn the Prosperous trophy, which is for obtaining 30,000 gold. Once you've equipped the Tombstone, now head over to the last location, which is the Samurai. This is definitely one of the easiest ones to get the instant headshot kills, and just one of the easiest ones overall. You can also do this, so you can get the Bullseye if you haven't already, or Untouchable if you haven't too. Again, progress through this campaign as usual until you reach the boss. The Samurai boss is similar to the Mongolian boss, where their leg is completely exposed. It's the same technique as before, just now you need to avoid these larger circles that will appear that will poison you upon entry. Once you've killed this boss, it will give you the trophy, the Champion 4, and a new boss weapon called the Kodoku, which you should equip right away. This is the 4th out of the 5 boss weapons. Now we can move on to the final boss, Jotun. He has 3 stages technically. Jotun has a special ability where a flame path comes out from in front of him, which will one-shot you, so just make sure to sidestep it. And just do the same technique as stabbing him in the thighs. It's pretty simple, just make sure you avoid the ad as well. Killing him will give you the final boss weapon that's needed, called Hellfire, which you should equip Hellfire over the Solace weapon, and bring that into your next fight, which will give you 2 trophies. Now, you've got a choice now of what you'd want to do. You can either load into the pirate campaign, or you can load into the arena, having the wave set to 25, not infinite, and at the maximum difficulty, spawning pirates only. I'd recommend just to go straight to the arena. In this run, I went to the pirates first of all for some reason, so that's the footage that you're going to see here. But go for the arena. Depending on which one you did choose, upon entry, you'll get the achievement Boss Mode, which is for using all 5 boss weapons. So if you've been following the guide and equipping the weapon ones I've been telling you to, you should already have that. And now, with the Hellfire in your main hand, you want to get a kill with this weapon. You'll see that around the weapon, there is a white circle that builds up the more times you get kills with said weapon. When that white circle is completed and it vanishes, it means you can use the special ability. So I believe it's by clicking R1 or L1, depending on what hand you have it in, kill someone with that special ability, and that will give you the trophy Hellfire. If you didn't choose the arena to begin with, you should now go over onto the arena. As I say, make sure that you set it to 25 waves, to the highest difficulty, and to pirates only. Upon entering the arena, you'll get the trophy Survivor, which is just for entering an arena. And now you just want to continue replaying it over and over again until you get up to 500 kills. You can track how many kills you currently have on the left side of any of the menu screens back at the hub base by going over to your overview, and it will show you how many kills you've got on there. It will also show you how many skill points you have towards the Alchemist trophy, so keep an eye on that. By the time you've got 500 kills, it'll give you the trophy Absolute Savage and leave us with the one final grind left to get the rest of the skill points. Before starting this grind, I think you will have more than enough money now to be able to go for the trophies, the Heavyweight and the Collector, which is for buying all the weapons and shields and all the armor and helmets, so go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and start grinding for the Alchemist trophy. For this, we're going to kill claws over and over again as you get around 450 to 500 skill points, and it only takes you around 30 seconds to kill him. Equip the Hellfire in one hand and equip the Kodoku in the other hand, and do the technique that I'm doing in the video, which is small slashes at the body. Do this whilst rotating your left joystick in a somewhat circle to avoid damage, so you go back and forth, and eventually he will die pretty quickly. Once he's dead, I replace the Hellfire with the Frostborn weapon that he drops just because I prefer it, and I do the same thing over and over again until the trophy pops for having obtained 10,000 skill points, and as the Alchemist is obtained. With that, the platinum should be obtained. As I say, it's a really easy platinum with the techniques described. Let me know if you found the guide useful, and if you have any suggestions for other games that you might need help with, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to make a guide for them. I will answer any comments you may have about Swordsman VR to give you more insight into helping you on your platinum journey. If you're struggling with trophies and achievements that you'll need help with, you can always head over to my website at playstationtrophyservice.co.uk. and or email me and we can arrange help for you there to obtain that platinum for you. Or if you enjoy the content and the guides that I'm making, I now have a Patreon. £1 is the cheapest tier, which is Bronze Trophy, and these tiers will slowly progress with better rewards. I have multiple guides that I've already established but not made into videos and will never be videos that only Patreons that have subscribed will have access to, as well as discounts off of my store and soon early access to my video guides. But apart from that, thank you all very much for watching. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Sir_Harris, or I will see you in my next video. So take care.